And we're live. My name is Mark. I'm going to be your GM and host today for Runners in the Shadows, Hacked in the Dark. We are a live broadcast network of podcasters and game designers, and we just generally love each other's games, and we're trying to show them off. And some players today that I have with me will be joining me to play this wonderful game of my creation called Runners in the Shadows. And you can see the graphics and such that I've prepared. That's all to say that we're all pretty hyped for this game. We're going to have 4 players today, and the first one is currently just away for a moment, but we'll introduce the others and hope that the fourth shows up. We have the player for Emerald today. Go ahead and introduce yourself.
I am Xalkyrie. I play Emerald as part of this group of activists. I am a Twitch streamer for variety roleplay content, at least as much as I can. Play RPGs, MMORPGs, and do roleplay on a modded Red Dead Redemption 2 server. As I said, I play a character Emerald, a fallen noble who's now grouped up into this gang to get a grip of her emergent lifestyle, basically.
Yeah, that's a good thing that you did there. You introduced both you and your character. So if you would do the same for the audience, player playing Grinds.
Hi, I'm Raven. I am a writer and illustrator. Work a lot in the tabletop role-playing industry. I am playing Grinds, a corporate troll who has left his corporate life behind to fight the power in the shadows and try to help save the astral plane from the pollution and destruction caused by the corporations.
And recently, having just joined us, would be the player who is going to be taking care of Hammer. Go ahead and introduce yourself.
So my name is Scraigon, and I'm playing the character Potato, which is his given name. But that's not a respectable street name, so he goes by Hammer. And so Hammer is a street thug that grew up in gangs and was beating people up. And he is awakened. He sought out awakening and found that his magical talent allowed him to channel his magic into his body, and he's an adept.
All right, cool. And our last player joining us was kind of our special guest. We kind of hyped this last week. Is going to be playing the Snake.
All right, hi, I'm Eric. I'm also the Fortune of the Dark Hacker and a couple other games as well. So I'm playing Kenson St. John, the crew's snake, better known as Sick, S-I-C, and he's a blacklisted journalist.
Well, that seems to kind of sort of help explain why you might be a runner. I think the last time what we did was we kind of we cut the episode with like the group like leaving the scene of a crime in a rented sedan vehicle. But I want to bring us in on kind of what your characters do, between things. So what we did was we ended up basically right on the cusp of a downtime phase, so we could go into that. We want to explore sort of each other's like reasons for being and such. And so, yeah, I guess without further ado, we should go into that. I think there's some narration too of like where I would say like money flows into your accounts, and then there's like a scattering of like weird like messages between your fixer and other criminal contacts, and your fixer just kind of like says like, "I covered for us. You've been paid, of course." But and I think Hawkins is kind of like leads it in the air, like, "Yeah, that'll probably come back to bite us one day." But they're like, "We're good for now." And as they close the video call, then each of you are free to basically do what you want with your downtime. Yeah. What do you players think you want to get started on?
I think that Hammer has been looking forward to his downtime because that's where he gets to explore his abilities. And part of how he does that is through his vice of stupor. But also part of that is through the way where I spend a downtime activity each downtime to maintain my mystic way of the body.
Oh, yeah. Right. If you don't do it, it actually ends up being kind of costly for you. So, yeah, I'm wondering, I guess, what your character does to indulge that, or well, it's sort of like indulgence, right? To fulfill that.
Right. So with the two things to take care of, both fighting and practicing my powers, they are two different things. And so as far as practicing my powers, it will be through like meditation and trying to flex my mystic muscles into like doing new things, trying to manifest new abilities, or trying to stretch the range or reach or capability of what I have. Just kind of like trying to both test it and push it, like exercise it.
Yeah, like if you didn't answer already, I would be asking you like, how is this stressful, or like, how does this push your limits? But we can tell, I think. So that's cool.
And so I'll mark that downtime activity to maintain my mystic way.
Right. No roll required. Just have to spend the game resource basically towards that, and give me fiction.
I've called it Way of the Taxing Body.
Oh, right. So yeah, so yours is going towards body as well. So that's like the thing that you can get up to 4 dots in, and then if you were already able to get 4, you could get up to 5 actually. So cool. I like to think. I kind of wonder. Is there any? I guess is it like grunts and like like things that you're saying? Is it like phrases, or is it the physical, like that kind of strain? You know what I mean?
Well, I think it's both. I think it since it is through my body that I explore my mysticism, it would be like I'm gonna take this yoga posture until it's like exhausting to hold, and then once I am there in the exhausted place, then I will attempt to use my abilities further than they standardly allow.
All right.
So
cool.
part of it is physical and grunt and like holding a plank, but then like also like flexing my mystic ability once I'm physically taxed. The way of the taxing body.
All right, cool. And in my mind's eye, I see like energies swirling around into you as you do that, within the astral. The ones that like maybe another magician could track. Luckily, you don't have anyone tracking you. Not at the moment. Maybe somebody wishes they were. Like there's probably someone who is like on your trail, but they haven't quite figured out what they're tracking. That would be the recipient of last week's run. Yeah, the Legionnaire, and their hired hacker.
And that being one downtime activity to maintain, my second would be to try to sharpen my edge. That is, I certainly had a stressful time on this last run, and I need to go like loosen up and find the way that I relax.
All right.
And so I would go to my vice purveyor. This is an underground fight club. And this is where you have, you know,
Can't see
semi-amateur.
Yeah, I guess tell us about that. I'm reading off on your sheet. I tried to show it to the stream, but they're not able to see that. So, but that you had 5 edge marked, and that your vice is stupor. In other words, you like getting beat to oblivion, I guess, or you don't know what's happening.
Yes, it's by getting like the beat down that I'm able to like let go of control, not be in control, and relax. You have to beat it out of me.
Oh, gnarly. Yeah, so there's a fight club, and there's actually an interesting NPC that I could bring in here from the Runners in the Shadows text. The dude's name is like it's either Spug or
Oh, I got a
Spugface.
rival named Spike.
Oh, you want it to be them?
He's a dojo owner, right?
But
That's
they're your rival,
that-
so so if they're also your vice purveyor, that means that they're somehow like okay with you coming in and like be going into a stupor then to their fights. So maybe they like watch you get it, they like to watch you get beat up because they like, you know, they're like they've got a sickened glee about them to them. There's like something they're somewhat pleased by it, but like they like read into it in a different way. Like so they see you coming in for more, but it's more like they think it's hurting you, but it's really not. It actually is. This is how you sharpen up. Oh, we can't hear you.
Yeah, they think they're getting the better end of the deal out of that. Keeps coming back for more beatings.
Okay, I'm okay with your rival also being your connection for that.
Vice,
Yeah.
vice purveyor.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
Spike. Right. So his dojo. Do you got any feelings about the dojo? What it might look like? What's the like? Is it like the opponent dojo, or are they like they're actually part of the dojo that you trained in, or something?
Oh no, it's not my dojo. I'm not there. I'm the other student that shows up for the challenge and gets beat down.
Oh wow.
That's my thing.
But you deliberately like get beaten to the end.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the point.
Okay. We'll just put like repeat challenger.
And I think I do have a role to go with that.
Well, right. So you may, I guess, like this role represents your weakest trait, perhaps taking the best of you. So this is like something happening that you didn't see coming, or your willpower, which would be like you just got into it too much.
It's about getting back up after they knock me down. So they knock me down again.
Can I jump in before he rolls though?
Sure.
You might, and he also,
Just
I think
quickly.
it's a bonus die.
I'm also going to sharpen my edge, and I'm a gambler, and I decided I wanted to go to underground fighting ring. So
Oh yeah.
I'm there with River, and I'm gonna bet all that I got, 1 coin, on Amber.
Nice.
Cool. All right. So underground gambling rings, I guess, will be part of your thing. We'll give you a purveyor. Do you normally have a purveyor for this? That's not this person, or you have like a bookie?
I haven't picked one. Probably a bookie. Yeah. I was gonna say Captain Jack's Casino, but this is more fun.
Yeah. Let's say they're down here. They're like slumming it a little bit. You know, they don't normally
I'll get a name.
gamble down here, but yeah. Okay. But you can bet on this fight. So the roll's not really to see whether the bet goes well. It's really just to see if you like kept on betting after you like went low, or if you like made it big and then made a big bet and lost it all or something. You know, what did it get the best of you or not, and then cost you?
Sure.
You know, does it clear all your edge and send you on a spiral for a while or not? Okay, so I think what I'm hearing is that Hammer's got a bonus die from their rival being there. I think their friend's gonna help you get. I think he's gonna help you get beaten up. The risk is like there's like a small risk in my head. I just want to see if he like next time he like dupes you or something like he actually is like, wow, I figured out that they're just out here using us.
Nice.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, here we go.
I'll go ahead and make a willpower. No, I guess it's. I'll make a roll here.
You've been doing this a while, right? Like, there's a chance that could happen this time, I think.
Sounds good to me.
I'll just give him one die. All right, they just keep watching with glee. There's some progress on them figuring it out, I guess. Next time it'll be 2 dice.
Cool. And it looks like I clear 5, which is how much I had. So cool.
Oh, you had 5, right? But then on the sideline, we see Kenson St. John, the snake / face. They've made some bets as well, and hopefully they won and left, at least broke even or something.
Probably not.
Yeah, hopefully you don't get trapped up in the emotion of it. Actually, for you, it might be like that you just like weakly. Something happened with weakness, you know, physical strain or injury. Maybe you got drunk.
Right.
Yeah. Did you roll that already?
I have not. No, so I'll roll.
So roll your lowest trait for your indulgence, and you can indulge as well. Ooh. So is that
Why did it roll twice? Is there a bonus die? I just had one.
Oh, well, okay. Let's go with the 5, I guess, unless you don't like the 5.
There's been 1. 3.
Strange.
It's still rolling 2 dice for you, oddly.
Yeah, it is weird. What happens if I pick 0? Oh, I know why.
It's because it knew I was there to help you.
It's no, I guess I wasn't paying attention to what I was reading. It's I was doing bonus dice. So what did I get? I got a 5 on that first one. Right. So
yeah. You rolled about 4 times, so we'll just pick one, I guess. Pick the first one that was.
I'll pick the very first one. It was 5. So here's the question: did I pick up 1 extra stress last week since I wasn't here? And I have 1 trauma.
We didn't really do downtimes, to be fair.
Right, we didn't do downtime, so.
All right, that's good. I'm in trouble. I'll take an extra entanglement.
Oh, because you rolled a 5 and you had 4, or how many?
Yep.
Oh.
Yeah, I only had 4 edge.
Okay. Excellent. All right, so.
That's all right.
Yeah, we got a few options. One is to suffer an additional entanglement. Okay. That's better than, I guess, losing your underground gambling ring purveyor or additional heat, right? You might have an option.
Eyeballs key.
Okay. So an entanglement, I'll roll. Let's see, you're at 1 at 0 already, still, I believe. Just gonna double check that. That means I would roll 0 dice, or 2 dice and take the lower. Yeah. Okay. Okay, that's a 2. That's not bad. It's going to be either crew trouble or the usual suspects, if I remember correctly. Yeah, so that's either a cohort. If I went crew trouble, yeah. Do we have cohort? Oh, yeah, we do have a cohort. Y'all have the socialites from the apartment complex that was haunted. They could definitely be in trouble.
Great.
They've got a flaw. We didn't record the flaw, but if I remember correctly, it was like it was something socialite related, like either. Let's look at them, I guess. Cohorts. So it'd either be principled, which sounds like correct. Savage. Unreliable. That also sounds correct. Or wild. Unreliable is they're not always available. Principled is they have an ethic or values that they won't portray, which to me sounds appropriate. Violent and cruel, or drunken, debauched, and loudmouth. Though neither one of those really sound like they make sense for the socialites. But yeah, let's. If we pick one of those, then I can know what I'm going to hit as the fiction for this.
All right, I'll leave that. Whatever you guys think makes the most sense.
All right. They're principled, I guess.
Oh, for our operatives?
Yeah, these are the ones that are like socialite. Yeah. Okay, principled was the thing, I think, and it was I think that
Yeah.
that was like them sharing your value,
And-
right? Of like they won't pollute the astral space, things like that.
Principal, but independent or something.
Yeah, independent. Makes
Yeah, that
sense.
seems correct.
Cool. So their flaw is what's the reason. So I guess they were too principled. So their principles probably get in the way of something that they need to do. Perhaps it's like, so if their principle, like it matters, right? What their principle is. So what's the ethic or values they won't betray? Is it the astral space thing? I think they won't take they won't do some tasks that they need to do because they're worried about like upsetting the spirits, or is it more like it could be money or something, right? Like they value money above everything. It's principle's pretty wide open, you know.
Well, maybe they I don't know, maybe they rely on us to do the dirty work. You know, they're perfectly fine with spying and passing information along, but they won't do what we'll do.
Mm-hmm. Does that
I think
sound
maybe
good?
it has something to do
They're
with
not going to get into conflicts, or they won't sabotage stuff for us.
So the thing they won't betray is like they're like we're not about some terrorism, that sort of thing.
Yeah, they won't do the extreme kind of activism. That's kind of what we're there for. So
sinking ships and all that.
Sure.
yep.
Okay, so no extremism. In that case, then the fact that they didn't use some sort of extremism must have gotten their way, or perhaps it was like, oh, I know what it is. Words around town that someone's trying to hire an extremist group, and they approached your socialites over at the Halfway Tree Lounge, and in doing so, they asked a question like, "We need someone that'll take care of something loud for us." And I think that the reaction that they got back was like so negative that yeah, it was believed that the Mannings had lied to this group. Because the Mannings told them, yeah, you can find somebody that'll do violent work in there. Oh yeah, just go over to this floor. And that turned out to not be the case, apparently. That's what they thought. And then there was a little bit of a faux pas there with that. I think we see like Manning security, like kind of like step over, and they're kind of like, they look like they're gonna make a like they're gonna throw out the socialites that are hanging out at the bar, and they're like, oh no, we're supposed to be here, and they're like looking around, they're like, oh, that's the crew that belongs to H, you know, and they're like, the bartenders look at each other kind of like awkwardly, and they're like, yeah, just leave them be, and the Mannings are like, yeah, we'll talk to them later. And so Hawkins gets like a message. It's like, this your group down here? They might not be welcome here again. And Hawkins is kind of like, oh no, what happened? You know, and he's trying to squash this whole thing. I think he ends up sending like a message to the crew, kind of like, well, we could save face by paying them off. Or just make an example of them. There's a couple ways we could deal with this, but the Mannings are not happy. Yeah, if one of y'all was to go down there and make an example of them right now, that would solve it. Just go to, can one of y'all go down to be bothered to go to the halfway tree lounge?
I think
I'm-
that actually ties into what I wanted to do with my my downtime action. So with my stress relief, it was and that just ties right in. I don't know if we want to do that right now then, or if we want to wait until.
Well, yeah. So the crew trouble thing, basically, I can bring it in at any point, but it felt like this one should maybe come in more immediate. But yeah, you could deal with it as part of your downtime activity that you're doing.
Yeah,
if
I
you
was going to do
wish.
this stress relief, and I figured. So while Jensen is off doing his stress relief, you know, he's gotten in the back door of the luxury spa with next to his contact, and so he's relaxing in the hot tub, and it's after hours, and a bunch of the Mannings muscle shows up, and you know, climbs in the hot tub with him, and starts, you know, threatening, doing the whole you know, we're not happy with you kind of routine. So maybe Jensen decides to, you know, take care of it right there at the spa, and starts cracking heads and so forth. You know, this huge troll stands up in the hot tub, and oh, is that the case? Well, allow me to rebut. And you know, starts throwing their muscle around, sends them home with bruises and a broken arm and so forth.
So by them, you mean the operatives? They're at the spot with you.
The Mannings operatives, or did I misunderstand?
It's our operatives. That it's just.
Oh, it's our operatives. I'm sorry.
Yeah, the Mannings are like, we're gonna beat him up, or you should.
Yeah, our own team has gotten into trouble, and the option is to like pay the opposition or make an example of our own team.
Well, yeah, you could let it ride. You could let it ride.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, you could let it ride. But I was thinking, yeah, if you want to step in and just interfere by making an example of them, that would be like, you know, we might make a fortune roll just to see kind of like how that goes. In this case, because it's the first time around, maybe they don't expect you to like break everyone's heads open, right?
Yeah, no, I misunderstood. I don't want to bust up our operatives, so I thought it was the Mannings.
Oh, you won't do that? Ooh, that's interesting. No. Oh yeah.
No, that's just bad business. The Mannings were just paying off, you know, just to exist in their territory.
Yeah, it's one rep to just let it roll, just let it ride. If you were to like do something to make an example, that would make it go away. And the other thing is you could just not take the rep loss, but instead you'll face reprisals. So that would be like the wrong party in this case is the Mannings. So I would calculate that into something bad.
Screw them. They shouldn't be messing with our guys.
Right.
Right. Okay.
Maybe that's how we lose the rep. Is Jensen beats up the Manning's muscle who come to talk to him and tell him, that they need to take care of their people.
Mm-hmm.
They need to press them, and so Jensen is having none of that. And so oh, you mean like this? And sends the Mannings out, and so they lose rep because they just Jensen decided to turn things around on the Mannings, and that's not normally how you do business down here.
Well, yeah, and it's probably also like your fixer's like, oh yeah, we'll take care of that. Won't happen again. But then they see that those individuals that served as your social network, they didn't come back beaten up. None of the Mannings remember dealing with that themselves or being like told like, hey, there was an apology made, do you accept? So I think there's like, yeah, it's just like later on when they do their gang meeting later after they've collected their take from the tills and such, that they go, yeah, and the that guy Hawkins took care of that issue earlier, right? And they all kind of look around at each other. The Mannings are just like, not sure, boss, not sure. And they're like, and we see Vigo kind of like cracking their knuckles. We see their like cyber eye like start to like flit and like do like weird like zooming in and stuff. We see text like scrolling across their eye like they're looking up articles to try to like see what they can find out about what happened that day. And yeah, they just look pissed off after they like close that, and they're like, don't think anything happened from that. So yeah, there's just like this like right, like kind of ugly feeling in the room as they part ways. They're like, well, go collect from such and such, and then they go off and scatter off to go do the rest of their crime business. And you lose one rep. Yeah, they're like, small potatoes, right? That's kind of like, wait, you didn't have any rep, did you? Oh, you were supposed to get 2. You were supposed to get 2 from the first run, and you're supposed to get 2 more from this run, so we'll just take 1 of those. So that leaves you with 3. Yeah, you would have gotten 2 from each of those runs. Okay. I only heard 2 downtime activities eaten up so far. Who else has got one?
I still need to roll to indulge my vice. So
oh wait, we didn't
at
get
the
that.
spa.
Oh yeah, that's
No,
right. This is an indulgence as well. My fault.
Yep.
Yeah.
So these people interrupting, how very rude.
Right.
Could have been better, but not too bad.
So, okay, so part of when you indulge your vice too is on me understanding why. Why this vice? Why is it luxury for your character?
Because it's going back to the whole. He's used to it. This was his lifestyle before he decided that he was walking away from the corporation, and so doing this is still, it's relaxing, and it's him trying to reconnect with who he used to be, and to maintain his status as. His privileged status, even though he declaims the entire thing, so, which has been a source of conflict between him and Emerald, as well.
Oh crap! So did you just overindulge as well?
No, I took it off already. I was 1 away from getting a trauma, so I only rolled a 3.
Oh. Yep, that helps if I scroll down and I don't. Yeah, okay. All right, cool.
So it's good. Yeah,
you were very good.
Overindulge.
If anything, you probably wish you had rolled higher.
I do. I really wish I rolled higher.
So I wonder if there's some fiction there as to why. Maybe the soaps weren't the perfect blend. The tub kind of overflowed there at the end, right as you got in. They overfilled the water.
I think I think it was the whole interruption of his, his me time at the spa.
Oh.
By the Mannings. Yeah, the Mannings muscle who came to talk to him about why haven't you done, why haven't you guys taken care of the issue you're supposed to take care of?
Well, this
How dare you interrupt me?
This is at the halfway tree, right?
I don't know. We never really decided where the luxury spa was.
The luxury spa probably is in a
could.
different source. They're probably a different location than the restaurant where the gangsters and stuff are allowed to do underground meetings. Yeah. It sounds like a different location. But maybe it's within eyeshot. Yeah, maybe it's within eyeshot of the building.
Section. That's where. Yeah.
Well, 'cause I was going to add or offer that, like, on top of the Manning's interruption, it was probably also Emerald indulging her vice at the same spot. And it's between the two of them, you're playing basically a babysitter between Manning's, their cohorts, and Emerald, and you just never really get like the nice, like stewing in the spa to just sink and soak and enjoy it because you're just constantly having to deal with other matters.
Yeah, after a couple interruptions, it starts to get under your skin, and it's not quite as sharpening as you'd like it to be for your edge. So you still got a substantial amount of marked edge stresses from the earlier run to deal with. Maybe you spend twice as long there. I don't know. Are you good with 5?
I think good. I'll do that because unfortunately we do not have a lodge for Jensen. So his other downtime action this time was going to be to create a lodge space for himself, or to start creating a lodge space for himself.
You could work on that.
So unfortunately, I'm going to suffer that penalty for not having a lodge, but I am going to go and start working on creating one.
Yeah, there is a process described for like clearing out a lodge if you don't have the available upgrades and the crew doesn't feel like spending them and you just want to work on one. Yeah, you can work on that with downtime. I
think we have an available upgrade, but I don't know if we want to spend that upgrade on a lodge or not. And I was assuming we wanted.
My proposal was a lodge and another dot for the landing pad.
Okay. We have 2 upgrades?
Right.
You get 2. I forgot.
2 upgrades for...
Okay.
I mean, for 1 advancement, you could get...
Right, yeah. Well, if everyone else is okay with that, I'm good with that.
It's fine with me.
Okay. Oops, sorry about that. I hit the wrong thing there. I roll 20. Okay. Yeah, let's do that then, and then I won't have to worry about the lodge, and I will actually, I will indulge my vice a second time and spend like extra time there trying to de-stress. So I've got 5, so let's not roll a 6. Only another 2, wow, but better than nothing. So yeah, the stress relief didn't go as well as it could have, I guess. All these interruptions, even with the extra time spent there, it's, it's gotten under all the stuff's gotten under the troll skin. It's difficult to do.
Yeah, the stresses of the shadows are tough to make them just float away and wash off. Maybe it'll take more than soap and bubbles, and hot water to do it. This is maybe the sort of thing that acid and banishment of angry spirits might help him deal with. Considering the fortuitous ending of the first run, and so maybe it's sort of that sort of thing. Who else has got a downtime activity?
Yeah, you can't stop worrying about this dragon issue.
Oh, that too. That's a good idea.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, I got a downtime for Emerald. We mentioned one, but I want to do that second. The first one I want to actually do is basically start an effort to recruit. Actually, I'm not quite sure the full way I want to go, but she wants to get access to, if need be, get room to make friends or something with some thugs if she ever needed it. Like, I don't know if she wants to, like, I want to do full cohort recruit, or at least just be friendly with a gang that we can maybe call into a score or a flashback to, or something of that sort. Like, because we have
Yeah.
operatives, they're more on the stealthy side. She wants some people that, some more hammer like people, kind of.
Oh, okay. I'm hearing you. All right, so I'm gonna go over and let's see what you got for friends already. I'm assuming some of those don't really work out, but we could swap one like this ultra. Maybe you don't care about that. We could give you a
That's fine.
friend. Yeah.
Okay.
We could say that you already know them, or are you saying that you're not sure if you know them yet
I
and you want to
I
see
want to
who
make
what?
friends with them. I
Oh,
build some network our crew with some other crew, and get so that there's, they're good at one thing, we're good at something else. We can kind of exchange specialities sometimes if need be. You know.
yeah. Making friends in the shadows tends to be risky, but maybe you use it of someone you already know to get you an introduction. I'm not sure how you want to go about this. What does your character actually do?
um
Maybe they just go talk to
I guess it's
people, like in a bar.
essentially like it's just kind of like, yeah, maybe get some word of where they hang out. And there's probably thugs would probably be more of like, yeah, like motorcycle club or a bar or something like that. They're not going to be at the halfway tree. They're going to be in some grimy back alley POS place. And she maybe wanders in, this, young lady, and just socialites, tries to get kind of friendly with them, and have them get at least used to her presence, that she can then make proposals and stuff like that when it comes to like business time.
Yeah. I'm picturing an alleyway with like steam coming out of the the gutters on the ground or whatever, and then there's like a chatter throughout, and then like the crackling of fires. Maybe there's some wares for sale, illegal wares and such. And then like halfway down this alleyway, there's like people that are willing to talk about runs, and but maybe they don't know you, right? But they've seen those socialites before, so we're hoping they have an
Yeah,
opening. That one of them
yeah.
can
She's
just be
she's
like,
she's she's maybe leaning on the fact that she's just a young, attractive lady in somewhere that she kind of shouldn't be, and see if they just like, like use that to break the ice type of thing. Like, it's just like she's not some rough and tough person who leans in the back corner, dark and brooding, and hopes someone approaches them.
yeah,
She's this somewhat spry, cheerful girl that comes in and then seems to have this knowledge or etiquette of being a runner, at least the 101 basic principles of it. So they're like, interesting. Well, maybe we should know more, like try to create that intrigue.
yeah. So I hear a couple different ways to roll this. Either I just go with a fortune, or you could make an action roll as well to kind of like lead this situation and see how much info you actually get. I think it's not so much risky yet until you make the like move past like, oh, somebody says, hey, I got a friend that needs something done. They want to make better friends in the shadows. These socialites could set you up basically, and then I think we just roll die to see how well that went. But if you want to actually
Yeah,
direct them,
I
maybe
was I was
there's.
gonna come in with a hustle and see how well she basically creates connections with them.
Well, let's see what the starting position is. Ooh. Socialites say, yeah, we got one. Someone down here is definitely interested in trading underworld influence, and they point them out, and you notice them to be somewhat of a known figure in the shadows. Like you might have heard of them as being like they're useful. We already know that they're useful because they have some in already. Maybe it's secrets brokering. Well, that was kind of what you were looking for, right? Another muscle, right? Someone that was a muscly type.
Also, yeah,
Yeah,
the hard worker.
Yeah, we'll pull someone off of the muscles playbook. That would be useful. So we've got like Knuckles, the brawler. Ooh. If you want more of a gang type, that's probably Livewire. Somebody who's like is friends with Muscles and does lots of like. Are you thinking more as like a street doc or a killer or brawler?
Yeah. Yeah, probably more a killer. We don't really have like we as a crew. We're not too. I mean, we have done violent things, but I don't think we're really the killer types per se. Like we're not trying to go into, leave corpses. We'll just do our job and like take. Usually, in this case, the last couple times, is steal something and get out. So we need to fill a gap in our crew is probably someone who can leave a corpse, if that came down to it.
Yeah. Okay. Someone that rumored to be an assassin for hire. Known to be dangerous. Right? They're like, yo, they're dangerous. And
Sure.
Their name is Crit. That's their like street
Crit.
name. Yeah, Crit. Like they will crit you, son.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think then so let's say that you come down this alleyway, Crit's down there, Crit's got probably someone watching their back. But maybe it's like Crit has an envoy. It's probably that. It's probably they have some lair and then you manage to talk to them and get through that lair by being a hot elf.
Yep.
Okay. All right.
Has its bonuses. Yep.
Yeah, your contacts set you up so this is they've at least got like they broke the ice enough so that you can do this without it being risky. It's controlled if you want to try to do that. And this will open up that contact. Put them on your list. They won't be close, but they'll be on your list as a friend.
That's all I asked. That's fine.
Yeah, basically we're assuming you get close enough, your hot elfness will carry you the rest of the way.
More or less, it's kind of her thing. Okay, controlled, standard. But we're going to push
Okay.
for the extra die. She's going to put a lot of effort into this. This is tricky and somewhat stressful trying to make contacts with people she doesn't technically know how they tick and how they work. And it didn't matter.
Sort of does. There's some kind of complication or consequence to it, but yeah, it was controlled, so it's not. You have time to back out, take another approach instead of accepting it.
It still fundamentally works. I mean, it won't be like the greatest starting relationship, but that can be improved.
What I think it is that you manage to have this. You get this conversation in, like right. You speak to the correct person, you use the correct diction, all of that to settle the Crit's mind at ease. So they're like, yeah, bring that person up. And you end up going up to an apartment, but we see like, it seems like maybe you will probably check your back, right? To like make sure like nobody's watching. Does that sound? Yeah, okay. You totally missed this though. There's like a drone going by that manages to catch a shot of your face from above the street. They like float over a building, take a snapshot. It ends up getting reported to somebody who's involved with the Legionnaires. Adds a heat. But you will make this connection and get this out of the way. You could intuition that to notice it and hide your face. Whatever. Just be like, maybe I should look up beyond the lights that are blaring me in the eyes from the top of that building. and then you would notice that, or just look a little longer, right? That sort of thing.
Nah, we'll take the heat.
Okay, 1 heat. Yeah. Okay, so you do that at that cost. You have a discussion with like Crit. I think Crit is like likely to talk to you through some kind of a voice modulator. They probably got some kind of a face disguiser as well, like a thermoplastic mask. You know, they look like a female. They're totally a male. They look and sound like a female. They sound like, but they're actually a male. And I think they even like walk and present as a female, like everything they can do to lay it on thick, and it's super convincing. And they don't act like they're turned on by you at anything like that. They seem like super professional as well. But I think they're watching you like they're like kind of like their eye would kind of quirked up. They've got a thing for elves or something. It gives you this in, you know, it gives you this in, and they're just like, they were so, I think, what's the way that you portray yourself in new interactions like this to attract a friend, I guess?
It's mostly kind of what she's comfortable with, so she'll still do a lot of like, you know, she'll sit proper, she'll have, you know, the crossed legs. She'll maybe like, you know, if she gets offered a drink or something, she probably holds it like a wine glass or something. Like she doesn't necessarily hide the fact that she's basically upper class, but she also just kind of talks to them just like people still, and then just you know, mixes in like runner talk. So it's this weird like blend of the two, where it's like, you know, her mannerisms are, you know, she's not going to hide her mannerisms, but she just kind of just levels with you and is just like straightforward, and then throws up, you know, whatever slang or terminology needs to come around for the job, and just keeps it kind of level. And then it's kind of like if they start to back off or feel like they're put off by it because she's behaving so upper class, then maybe it's like she shifts and adapts, but she always just starts off with that level, and then kind of, you know, tries to read them as the conversations go further. If they get like more distant, more sharper words, more, you know, if they start throwing insults or being passive aggressive, then she changes. She'll goes with the flow.
Okay, so it's probably safe to say that you maneuver the conversation well. We're not looking to like drag that out so much, but maybe we want to see like kind of like, was it smooth? Right? I'm not sure if you're trying to bargain for a risk or something here, or if you're trying to say like, yeah.
I don't know. She's just there to find out like what they're capable of, if they're interested in any work or partnerships or whatnot, you know, exchange of information or capability, and then depending on how they go from there.
So I think traditionally friends aren't made that quickly. I think they've known you for something in the past, so that they're like, they think in their head they either got it right or they might have actually got it wrong. But for some reason they think that you're someone that can bring them good clientele, and maybe they're right back in the past that you were able to, but they're already sort of warmed up to the idea of working with you, so that way it's not like they went from they never met you to now they're your friend. That makes sense?
Yeah, sure. I mean, I wasn't gonna say looking. I mean, well wisher would be fine, but yeah, no, that's fine.
Yeah, so I like that, and then so, but if this is mostly a new meeting, then I think there was just like that slight risk of getting like spotted on the way in, and you have a hustle of 1, correct?
Yeah.
What about your consort?
0.
Oh, we don't want to roll that. Oh yeah. So, in matter of fact, it's like they might have got it wrong, they might have got it right, but they realize that your way basically is putting them at ease in a good way. That they should work with you in the future. I think they're like, yeah, we should definitely connect in the future as far as like what kind of jobs are you looking for, and then when you kind of say like hurting people, right? That was kind of what you were looking for. They're like, oh, that and more. They just kind of like open-endedly leave it that way, like, you know, fill in the gap.
Yeah. She just kind of probably just perks up and just gives that like, oh, merci, and just kind of, you know, like perfect.
And she's like, yeah, why, do you need someone for that right now or something?
Oh no, not right now. But sometimes in the field tale, will be. You never know what the next day brings, and I seem to like getting into more trouble than I can handle.
I like the idea that the apartment that they're in is like hijacked and somebody is like in the back room, like softly weeping and like shaking. They're like tied up. They're like in the bathroom and they're just like try to be quiet. And you just hear like a, it's like an annoyed sigh. That's all the response they give. And they're just like tuck, 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 on the bathroom door to like tell them to be quiet. They barely made a peep, though. They barely made any kind of noise at all.
She probably breaks some of the ice with that and just kind of just does kind of playfully just kind of is that the old pod now?
They're like, just a bit of unfinished business. And then you hear somebody in the background.
Oh, there's a lot of that going around. I'm so sorry to hear that.
Yeah, Crit kind of like says like, well, but again, we'll be in touch soon. And they say this with like a very like kind of like happy little like thing where they're like, we'll be in touch soon. Here's my card. And they give you like a comm. They push a comm towards your comm to like pass details. And you see it's just like an anonymous, like encoded number. It's the comm code though. It is the comm code for their device. It may not be their master device for all their other devices, but it's one that they use to communicate.
A relay.
Yeah, it's definitely one they use to communicate. You could probably track them by that sort of thing.
She ends up, receiving it, nods happily eventually, and then probably like finishes her drink really quickly. She doesn't like the idea of leaving the drink empty. It's like poor manners. Even though it doesn't really matter in this particular concept because it's but it's the noble way of doing things. You never leave a drink unfinished, and then leaves out the door.
Crit watches that closely and is kind of like, note to self, doesn't like to finish drink. Maybe poison? They're just like, they do this where they track ways, right? Like they're like vulnerability, perhaps. Oh. And it's me as a GM trying to announce danger too. Yeah. Okay. I think that's about as much as you can get out of an initial meeting. But generally, what you got, Gray?
I was just wondering, did Emerald pass this along to the entire team before or after that she was going to meet with this guy? I mean, was it just she decided, you know what, I'm going to find us a killer? Or did she have a discussion with the team, hey, we need to get some extra muscle, and I know somebody?
I think maybe it was just like a very passing, like it was one of those like really like double take moments where it's like you're having we have our talk at table, we go over like the job we just did, we have the case back and whatnot, the snake head thing, the dragon head cane, and then like at the end she's just like, you'll probably use someone who's good at model, and as she's like walking out the door, like it's over her shoulder, almost like saying it to herself, and you kind of have that like, what?
Yeah, I'm imagining the rest of the team just kind of looks at each other like, what?
It's like, did they say murder? I'm not sure, but I think so. And the door's already shut.
Yeah.
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 Because she has that strange knack because of where she's from. Ultimately, even though she's working with the crew and there is that sense of, we're in this together, there's always those weird moments where she'll just like make a decision ultimately without like really like having that democratic census, and it's just kind of like this. It's just like, we could really use this, and just kind of is like already beeline to like putting that in motion.
Yeah. Okay. I think that's interesting. A way to kind of explain why like not everything is always out in the open. It's like sometimes they say things, but they don't all listen that closely. They're like,
I'm thinking when this
not
comes
the
out,
elf.
yeah,
Not
I'm
her.
thinking when this comes out, there's gonna be a little bit of perhaps a conflict here between Jensen and Emerald because wait, you went and did what with who? And I know someone far more reliable in CorpSec who's looking to make some money on the side and won't murder us in our sleep. Perhaps run this by the team next time.
Yeah, crit probably works for somebody that they shouldn't. That's dangerous. Somebody that's dangerous for the crew to be, third party associated with. Yeah,
Right.
that's cool.
But we can have that later. I'm sure there'll be plenty of that we can do.
I don't get to lay it on now.
Yeah.
Wait. Oh, all right. I'll let that one. Well, I'll be grabby hands on the next one.
No.
The suspense. So then the other downtime for her was then to actually deal with her vice. To go to the halfway tree and get into some. Nailed it. Blue Coke.
Oh, okay. You had 2 dice for that or 1?
2.
Oh, goody. Okay. 2, not a 6. All right, or 6, not a 2. So that clears all. You had more than 6 marked edge, correct?
Yeah, it's 7.
Oh, so this is like a perfect afternoon or evening or whatever, all night indulgence here. You needed all that sharpening. What does that look like when it goes really well?
It's interesting because now the day basically has been very full of socializing. So she worked a bit to get this talk with Crit, had the chat with Crit, and then she goes to the halfway tree, takes some Blue Coke, and then spends the night like vibrantly socializing and partying with the patrons of the halfway tree and just being, that's kind of rowdy probably by the end of the night, when the drinks have also set in, but it's like, she's having a good let loose time where she doesn't have to worry about anything as far as she's concerned, and she can just do whatever. Like, someone makes a suggestion of a game or a drink to try or a conversation, and she can just go into it, and there's just this playground, like kid in a candy store moment.
Yeah.
Is this where she ruins Jensen's indulgence? Like he hears that she's tearing up the halfway house, just being completely wild and fun, and he's like, "Oh my god, no!" It has to come do the babysitting you mentioned.
Potentially, maybe it's like that moment where it's like you're maybe in a weird set of thought, like near where your spa part of the halfway tree is or the businesses are. You don't know why, but there's that little stage, like little mini stage of the bar, and they open up karaoke hour, and that's what really ruined your.
They're playing
as soon
Don't
as she
Speak.
takes up the mic.
Yeah, they're playing the Don't Speak remix that your character loves or whatever.
Yeah.
It ends up being the like Super Coke remix version where everyone's like, by the end, they're like, and they're just like, oh no, she does this every time.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but they let it ride. I guess the purveyor down there knows that you're all about that. I'm just gonna grab one of the names for the workers down there. I believe there's like a whole list of them. So for pleasure, I guess it's about pleasure for your character, right? It's not about getting like totally messed up beyond.
No, it's about pleasure. I mean, for the business, she's probably gradually becoming an attraction.
Nice.
Okay, so
when she shows up, the party really gets going,
We're gonna grab one of the other ones. Let's see. I like Helene, who used to work at the casino. Now she works down at the halfway tree.
All right.
Yeah, Helene. She's like she'll like keep security off of you, you know, if you get a little too hype. She'll make sure you got like steady drinks. When she sees you getting too low, you know, she'll send you one with additional like caffeine added to it or something.
And she never leaves a drink unfinished, as we already said earlier.
Yeah, that sounds like a way to bite you in the butt later. Yeah, I like that. This time the drink wasn't loaded with extra drugs. The last one that you took, you were very quite attentive to your surroundings, and you managed to make it out of there without overdoing it. I guess you were just that stressed out, you know. you needed everybody to party in.
Yeah, runner life is really weird for someone who's not born and raised in it, you know?
I think that's probably a good time to take a break with like your character doing like the all night party thing. We see like stars in their eyes a little bit as they're like, you know, finishing their evening of get down, and then we can like pull back on the city of Kingston, and maybe like hear like right, like somebody getting shot, but like it's a gang eruption. It's like a gang fight wave breaks out in the street, and then like cars go and like slide out into the street and go roaring down into the distance, and we see Legionnaire like helicopters come like hurling around a building. Meanwhile, the rest of your runners are off doing their weekend fun. And we'll cut back in on that, I guess, and see what everyone else was doing with their time, and we'll be back in about 10 minutes, folks. So stay tuned.